Good morning. In today class, we will make a cell momentum balance in flow of two adjacent immiscible fluid. So let us consider we have two immiscible incompressible liquid are flowing in z direction in a horizontal thin slit of length L and width W under the influence of horizontal pressure gradient. And the fluid flow rate are adjusted so that the slit is half filled with fluid 1 and half filled with fluid 2, and the fluid are flowing sufficiently slower that no instability occur, that is that the interface remains exactly planar. So this interface is not influenced by the flowing fluid, and this entire uh, passage is half filled by fluid 1 and half filled by fluid 2. Let us consider fluid 1 is denser than fluid 2, then fluid 1 at the bottom position and the less dense fluid 2 at the top position. And this slit is perfectly divided in two portions, in which half portion is filled by fluid 1 and the remaining half is filled by fluid 2. Let us also consider the viscosity and density of fluid 1 is mu1 and rho 1, and density and viscosity of fluid 2 is rho 2 and mu 2. Now, before applying momentum balance on this problem, we have to make several assumptions. The first assumption is that we have steady state condition. It means the fluid flow is not vary with respect to time, and the fluid is laminar. It and fluid property is constant, like its density and viscosity. We also have unidirectional flow. It means the flow only in z direction, the fluid flow only in z direction, and there is uh, there is no flow in x and y direction. It means this Vx and Vy equal to 0. We also have Newtonian fluid, so then we can apply Newton law of viscosity. We have no slip condition between the liquid and solid surface. It means if we have no slip condition, then the fluid layer which is in contact with solid wall having zero velocity, and the flow is fully developed. It means it is not influenced by entrance and exit effect, and velocity profile does not vary along the axis of the flow in z direction. So there is no velocity variation along the z direction. It means the convective momentum at the entrance will be equal to convective momentum at the exit. In that case, the net convective momentum will be 0. The fluid are flowing under pressure gradient only. So at z equal to 0, the pressure is P0, and at z equal to L, the pressure gradient is PL. So now if we apply momentum balance, so there are two type of momentum there are two type of momentum occurring on this controlled volume. One is momentum due to molecular transport, another one is momentum transfer due to convective transport. So let's first discuss about momentum due to molecular transport. So the rate of momentum in due to molecular transport at x, so that will be equal to this WL indicates the area, and this tau xz is the shear stress. So if we multiply area by its shear stress, we will get the value of momentum. So this WL is the cross sectional area. So as if you can see in this diagram, So the effective area will be equal to this length L into its width W, because the diffusive momentum occur in x direction. So the effective cross sectional area will be this one or this one. So this area will be equal to length is L and its width is W. So effective area will be equal to W into L, and momentum will be equal to W into L into tau. So this W into L into tau xz, and this is rate of momentum in due to molecular transport at x. Similarly, rate of momentum out due to molecular transport at x plus delta x. So this will be equal to W into L tau xz at x plus delta x. So this is momentum due to molecular transport. Similarly, the net rate of momentum transfer due to convective transport. So we have made assumptions that the fluid is fully developed, and there is no velocity variation along the z direction. So convective momentum at the entrance will be equal to convective momentum at the exit. So net rate of momentum transfer due to convective transport will be 0, and net pressure force on the controlled volume will be equal to P0A at x minus PL x plus delta x, because P0 and PL are pressure at the entrance and exit of the controlled volume, and A is cross sectional area. Now the cross sectional area will be equal to, if you can see in this diagram, the effective cross sectional area will be equal to this mm, width is W and this height is delta x. So effective area will be equal to delta x into W into pressure, that will give you pressure force. So this delta x into W into P0. So this is net pressure force at the entrance. Similarly, pressure force at the exit will be equal to area. Area means delta x into W plus pressure. So pressure at the exit is PL. So delta x W PL at x plus delta x. Now if we put all this value in conservation of momentum equation, which is sum of force acting on controlled volume will be equal to rate of momentum out of the controlled volume minus rate of momentum into the controlled volume plus rate of accumulation of momentum in the controlled volume. Now we assume steady state condition, so the rate of accumulation of momentum will be 0. Now if we put all these value in this equation, finally we will get this. The rate of convective momentum transfer is constant at the entrance and exit, so that term will be 0, and it only have this molecular transport term and the pressure term. Now if you divide this equation by WL delta x and take limit delta x tends to 0, then this equation will convert into this form. Now to calculate the value of shear stress, you need to integrate this equation. So after integration you will get these two equations. This is for phase 1 and this one is for phase 2, because we have two immiscible fluid. Now we have two constant C1 and C2. To solve the integration constant, we require boundary conditions. So at the interface, means at x equal to 0, again if you can see in this diagram, this interface is this interface is at a position equal to x equal to 0. Now here we have negative value of x and this one is positive value of x. So here x equal to b, here x equal to minus b, and here x equal to 0. So boundary condition at x equal to 0. X equal to 0, this tau xz1 will be equal to tau xz equal to 2. This is because the momentum flux is continuous. So whatever may be the momentum flux, that would become continuous if we have these two interface. So the momentum will be continuous function. It's not like that some it's not like that. If this is the interface, it's not like that. So it's a continuous function, whatever trend it follow, the function is continuous. So at interface, this tau xz1 will be equal to tau xz2. So if we apply this boundary condition in these equations, we get c11 will be equal to c12. Let's call this equal to c1. So if we put c11 equal to c12 equal to c1 in this equation, so finally we get this equation. This c1 is replaced by c1. Now again, to solve this equation for calculating velocity, we need to integrate these two equations. So after integration we get these two equations. Now this equation again have three constant. The first one is c1, and another one is c21, and third one is c22. So to remove these three constant, we require three boundary conditions. So boundary conditions are at x equal to 0. This because at x equal to 0 or at the interface, and the velocity of fluid 1 will be equal to velocity of fluid 2 at the interface. So vz1 will be equal to vz2, and other two are no slip conditions at x equal to minus b and x equal to plus b. So this location is uh, at the solid liquid contact. So at that point also velocity will be 0 due to no slip condition, because the layer which is in contact with the solid wall having 0 velocity. So if we apply these three boundary conditions, we can calculate this C1, C21 and C22. So from boundary 2, this C21 equal to C22, and from boundary 3 if we put in these equations, then we get these equations, and from boundary 4 we get this equation. So now we have these three equations. So with the help of these three equations we can calculate these three constant, and finally this is the value of C1 and C21, that is ultimately equal to C22. So if we put all this value in velocity equation, we get velocity of we get velocity of fluid 1 and velocity of fluid 2. Similarly, if we put value of this constant c1 in shear stress equation, then finally we can get the value of shear stress, which does not include any integration constant. And if we with the use of these shear stress and velocity equation, we can plot velocity profile and shear stress profile. So these are final uh, profile of velocity and shear stress. This is shear stress, this one is for velocity. So this is the end of today class. If you have any question or doubt, you can post it in the chat box or you can also mail me. Thank you.